Hi guys. So, I feel like something in the stars or, you know, somewhere in the universe anyway, something is just going really well for me as far as stumbling upon some really good deals and some really useful materials for making my journals, my junk journals. And, I've kind of run low on, vintage books that I can disassemble and repurpose and use to create new journals. And, I don't necessarily look for them, like go out looking for them. They just kind of come to me. And, real honestly, very, it's always by accident. And I just have this weird faith that things will come and things will happen as you need them to happen. And trying really hard at this point in my life to live in the moment, and really trying hard not to worry about the future and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do everything. I don't know. I have some anxieties that don't really relate to this in any way, shape, or form, except for that things just seem to be going pretty well with me. And, with the journals and my Etsy shop and stuff like that. And I'm just feeling really good about it. And that's mainly because of you guys, and I'm very appreciative of that. So after I get done showing you the books and stuff that I picked up today, I want to ask your opinion about something and see if you guys would mind responding and just let me know what you think. So hopefully I don't forget. But anyway, so I just moved, and so in trying to basically set up a house at the new place, I need some shelving, like some more shelving, and mostly in my studio area, but also other areas in the house. But anyway, sorry, I just go off on these weird tangents. But the point is that I went to Goodwill because I was trying to see if I could find some kind of shelving and something I could use to store some craft supplies and stuff like that. And anyway, I never even made it back to the furniture section of Goodwill because I automatically just went to the books, and which is what I usually do when I go to Goodwill. And not that I ever really find anything there as far as books, but I always just look just to see, and rarely do I ever find anything, but you never know. So anyway, today was like, oh my God. I really was lucky. I feel like I definitely went on the right day at the right moment. Anyway, so I got a whole bunch of books, really, nice collection of some old vintage and antique books that I am going to disassemble. And I understand that some people are very opposed to that and feel like it's almost like sacrilegious to do that. And, I apologize. There's book collectors out there in the world that are definitely doing their job and doing their work, and they're doing a great job. And they just didn't happen to get their hands on some of these books. I did. It just makes the books they have more valuable, I think. Anywho. So I'm just going to kind of flip through some of these. There's quite a stack of them. This is just a few of them. Anyway, so I'll just kind of jump in there. So the first one is an old hymnal, Christ in Song. And they did have an old Bible. And I will say I kind of draw the line there. I won't tear up a Bible or a Quran or any other, really deeply religious texts. A hymnal, I think, is kind of pushing it, but hopefully that won't offend too many people. Anyway, so this is just a really cool old hymnal, and I just love that it's so small. All of the writing and the musical notes and all of that is really tiny, and there's a lot in here. So a lot of this, music is going to come in handy for junk journals, and there's a lot in here. So, and this is one of those books that's put together with the giant staples on the spine. So it's pretty sturdy. Oh, there's a little, what is this? Oh, just a bookmarker. Anyway, let me see what the date is in here. So there's some dates for 1978 and stuff in here. Actually, the front pages are missing out of this book, so I doubt if it's going to tell me when it was published or printed, but actually, wait. 1908, this book, 1908. So definitely an antique hymnal. So that's the first one. And I'm going to kind of pile these up at my feet, I guess. Excuse me. So these two books actually are from the haul that I showed yesterday from my trip up to Northport, Washington with my mom. These were actually in the car, and I forgot to bring them in, and I was too scared to go out and get them out of my car last night. Anyway, so these are some tiny little books that I got from that little junk shop yesterday, and I thought I would just kind of let you guys see these today. Falling apart, but this one is a Shakespeare book, a little tiny one. It's Macbeth and then some other poems. I don't know. I can't see a date on this either. She was asking $1 for it. But anyway, so this one's pretty cute. I actually tore a couple pages out of this today because I shipped out a couple journals to a lady that has been an amazing supporter of my journal industry. So thank you, Scarlett. So I wanted to give her a few sheets out of this book. But yeah, so Venus and Adonis, sonnets. Yeah, just a really cute little Shakespeare book. And I will probably make this into a little mini junk journal. And then this one is the ICS Businessman's Handbook. And I like it. It's kind of like a little rolled spine there. And this one I will also make into a little mini junk journal. This one published in 1924. And I just love it. It gives like all of these things that like a businessman should know, like duties on imports and definitions of financial terms, business law, a lot on business law, publicity, how to promote your business, things like that. So some really cool imagery and text in this book. So these will be fun to use in some journals. Yeah. So anyway, and I like the size of this little book. It's in really good shape too. I love that dark maroon color. Okay, so back to the Goodwill haul. The Tragedy of Hamlet. I think this is probably from a school. Yeah, Federal Way Senior High School. Federal Way, Washington. So, yeah, 1967 is when it was first assigned to a student, and the last one was in February of 1970. So there's probably going to be some notes and stuff from students in here. But yeah, some of the, the imagery in this book is just really pretty too. So this was published, copyrighted in 1909. The last one was 1937. So I don't know. I doubt if this was published in 1937, if it was being checked out in 1967. Although, I don't know, maybe. Who knows? So basically, it's just Hamlet. And yeah, there are some few pages with notes in the margins. I love these kind of pages with like, it's like a chronological chart. And yeah, so this kind of stuff, I'll actually like photograph that so that, you know, maybe I'll print it off and print it out maybe a little bigger or a little smaller or whatever. A few little notations in the margins and things like that. Big question mark right there. How beautiful, it says. Anyway, so there's that one. And I think this would be a cute little junk journal also. Here's another one from Goodwill. All the rest of the books are from Goodwill. Everything else from here on out. So this is a Tom Sawyer Abroad and Other Stories. 1924. It's the last copyright on this book. Just a piece of cardstock. So anyway, I basically just got this to I think some Mark Twain or Tom Sawyer book pages are kind of fun to include in a junk journal. But I liked the cover on this. I thought the cover was really cool. Neat designs on there. So that one. And then this one I was excited about because I'd actually like to read this. Psychology of Young, an introduction with illustrations. 1943, Yale University Press. Anyway, I'm kind of interested in his philosophy and that kind of stuff, so I think this just came about at the right time. And I also like some of the graphics in the book. So, yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to tear this book apart necessarily. I actually think I might read this and maybe hang on to it. But I thought it was a pretty cool find for me personally. Anyway. And here's a little reading book. The Road of Health to Grown Up Town. Like how to grow up healthy, I guess. 1930. College Place, Washington. I don't even know where that is. But yeah, so it's a kids reading book, school book. It has some nice illustrations in the book. I know I saw. Oh no, that's a different one I'm thinking of. But anyway, Wise Father Corn Tassel, dedicated to my friends in Illinois. Anyway, that one. And I don't know if I'll make that one into a journal, but I definitely like the pages in the book. So, and this one I thought would actually be kind of a cute junk journal. Friends and Neighbors, another reading book. Broadway Elementary School. This is the 1946-47 edition. A lot of color illustrations in here. But I thought some of these little graphics would be kind of fun to cut out. I don't use a lot of children's books in my journals, but I do have some that I'd like to start using. I just need to sort of get accustomed to the idea of using them. And I do like the way they look in other people's journals, so I just kind of need to figure out how I'm going to incorporate them. But I do love some of the images and the text. So maybe if I gesso some of the pages or something like that, maybe I can get past that. But anyway, so that one, Friends and Neighbors. And this one, Old Fritz and the New Era. And I have no idea. Like, I wasn't real hip on American history, but this is copyrighted in 1868, I think it says. So I don't know if that's when it was printed or 1897. So this is actually a pretty old book. Ooh, crap. nice weight paper. I like the texture of old book paper. I just, it's softer. It's just different. I don't know. They put a lot more, it seems like they put a lot more money into making books for, I don't know, maybe they didn't. Who knows? Anyway, there's some cool illustrations in here too. And any of that kind of stuff, I usually will photograph it, and just so I can have it for later if I want to use it again. And in these old books like this, I honestly don't think there's any big deal with the copyright and that kind of stuff. If there is, you know what? Take me to jail, I guess. But I'm not like reproducing it really. I guess maybe I am if I'm taking pictures of it. But whatever. Anyway, so this is a novel. I can't say his name. Zola. Emile, I guess. Emile Zola. But yeah, so here's another, it's a novel. Definitely going to be turned into a junk journal because I really like the cover. I just think it's really pretty. I like the simplicity of a lot of the those old books. So this book has been wet at some point too. I can feel it and smell it. Yeah. But that's okay. I like that smell. Call me a weirdo. And this one is part of an encyclopedia set. This is the letter Y. Or no, it's M through Z. Why does it say Y there? I don't know. Anyway, the Champlin Encyclopedia. I bought about, I would say, a third of the books that they had. Most recent copyright on this is 1948. And this is like a glossy paper. Just an encyclopedia. So, yeah, very useful paper. And I like the cover. I think the cover would actually make a nice journal. It's a nice size. It wouldn't be exceptionally large, you know, because the spine is still in really good shape. So I'd probably just leave it this size. But maybe some kind of like a steampunk sort of style journal, maybe. I'd like to do that. This is a beautiful book. I just love this cover, and it's kind of like, it's a little bit flexible. So I think it would lend itself really well to a junk journal, and it's just really well worn. It's like a fabric cover, like, you know, yeah. Has that? It sounds like, makes that cool sound. The Old World in the New Century. So this is like a history kind of book. Glossy paper. Pretty heavy paper. But some really neat images in here. I want to try to make some kind of like a bohemian style journal. And I'd really like to kind of go towards like some real Arabic kind of images and things like that in a journal also. So just because I'm really attracted to their like fabrics and just their jewelry and the script and the language and stuff like that. So anyway. So that's a really cool book that is definitely going to be made into a junk journal. And this guy, the Odyssey, this is part of a series, Classics Club books. And I just thought the cover is so nice, and I like that it's the Odyssey. So I just think that the book pages are kind of classy to use in a journal. Yeah, especially if you're going to be able to read the pages, you know, while you're looking through someone's journal, and I think it's neat to be able to see the title of the book that they came from. So there's that one. We're about a third of the way through these. So this one is Unveiled Mysteries. And this one, it's really discolored and kind of neat. Oh, there's a stamp there. What is that? I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to see some of this stuff. Anyways, this that has a date 1934 right there. Yeah, 34 and 35. So this one is, I just like the fact that the pages were so nicely discolored in this book. But I might actually read this a little bit just to kind of see what it's all about. It's talking about the Sahara Desert and oh, this is some kind of the Ascended Master's instruction on the mighty I Am presence, which is the law of life, presented by an appointed messenger. Oh boy. Huh. I'm going to have to research that. See what this book is all about. It's interesting. Unveiled Mysteries. So I'll let you guys know what I find out. So here's one that I think a lot of people will like and probably be appalled that I would tear this book apart, but The House at Pooh Corner. And the book is not in like super good shape as far as the binding. But oh, come on, it's so cool. Those little illustrations of Pooh and Piglet and lots of little drawings throughout this whole book. So yeah, I mean, these will be neat to include in some journals. I love that. So there's The House at Pooh Corner. And it's in pretty good shape. If I did make this into a journal, I would probably cut the spine off and maybe make it into a ring-bound journal, maybe a hinged ring-bound journal or something. That might be kind of neat. Or just build a new spine for it and make it a little bit fatter. So one way or the other, this is probably going to be a journal. This one is another reading book. And isn't that beautiful? I love those tulips. And there's a little fairy. Opal Walrath. This belonged to 1912. So it's a reading book. And again, it has a lot of I would say lightly colored illustrations. Yeah. There's a few places with notes and stuff like that. And some of the pages are, just kind of discolored around the edges and things like that. So this is cool. I love that little image. That'd be pretty on a tag, with some stitching and stuff like that. So, another reading book, Fireside series. I think this is a textbook. Maybe not. Maybe not. My dear lads, it says in the front. Or, by England's aid, or the freeing of the Netherlands. Well, it's like history of, yeah. Anyway, so this entire book is darkened and yummy. Doesn't seem like it's too brittle, though. Maybe a little bit, but not too bad. I could probably, yeah, actually it is. It's pretty brittle. That's okay. Newspaper clipping in here. that's cute. To wish you joy, peace, and happiness at this Christmas tide and throughout the coming year. Somebody in Wisconsin. It's interesting how things show up in weird places. There's an old newspaper clipping. 1919. This newspaper clipping. Anyway, I'll have to check that out. But this is a cool book too. There's some neat pictures in here, and this would be really, really pretty to decoupage some paper napkins on there and stuff like that, and use those to make some pockets. And but again, I love the cover of this, and this will make a nice journal. It's a good size. And this one I bought mainly for the cover, just because I love the feeling of it, you know, the tactile yumminess of it, and it's in really, really good shape. I like the purple on that little logo. It's pretty. Yeah, so this is just a novel. But when was it published? Because I know everybody always wants to know that. 1947. So not quite as old as some of these other ones. The Complete Works of Abraham Lincoln. And they had like, oh, they had like 3 of them. And I know that, you know, he was very prolific. So, oh, look, here's like a little fold-out letter. Interesting. Oh, Lincoln's letter of acceptance. And that's part of the book. It's like built into the spine. So, but this is, I'm terrible with Roman numerals. Was that 11? Or, wait, 4, I guess, I think. Anyway, so, and I like a lot of these old books when they, I like the really wide margins. I just think that looks really neat in journals. And I love how this is so rough on the edges. Like, it's all like, it's not cut like really smooth, you know. So, and this will be a cute journal too. This was from a library. And let's see. So, handbook for Scoutmasters. Obviously, Boy Scout handbook. $1938, copyrighted. Fifth imprint, April 1941. That's when this was printed. So this has a lot of really cool images also. Troop cooking. Cooking for the troop. Oh, it's like the hierarchy there. Yeah. Oh, this is cool. I don't know. I just like that. I want to make a journal that is for geared towards a man. I think I should. I think I should make a couple. I pick up all these books that are, you know, about like masculine sort of subject matter, and just because I'm attracted to them, and well, you know what I mean, the subject matter. So this book is amazing. I love this book. I love the text. It's just, oh, it's so delicious. The Notebook of Elbert Hubbard. And again, I know some people will just freak out that I'm tearing these books up, but you know, I guess somebody else should have bought it before me. Copyright 1927. And I did read the introduction in this, written by his wife. And this guy's pretty amazing, pretty awesome, Elbert Hubbard. Yeah, he was all about freedom and democracy and women's rights, and he was very schooled in philosophy and the arts and all of that. So anyway, but isn't that neat the way this is printed? Look at that. So cool. I love those little inset excerpts. You know, it's like each page is just really thought out and really well composed. So this one is definitely getting disassembled, and the paper out of this book, I will probably copy some of it. I definitely will. But yeah, especially that image of him. So there's that. And then speaking of, books that I've purchased that are kind of geared towards the male species, aircraft maintenance. Although I realize there's women probably that are into aircraft maintenance, like now. I don't know about back in the day, but so this one, copyrighted 1940, but look at the font in this book. Look at the text. Oh, and the drawings. Look at these drawings. They're just awesome. Just awesome. Awesome, awesome. I love it. Oh, it's just yummy. Every page of this book, to me, is just amazing. Look at that. I have this weird little collection of little metal toy airplanes, like little tiny ones, and they're all metal. And for some reason, I've just collected them. I think I have, 4 or 5, but it's not a huge collection, obviously, but they just come into my life, and I just have to save them. My grandkids like to play with them. But they have to promise to put them back every time, and they're really good about it. Anyway, I love this book. I just freaking love this book. I love every single page of this book. Look at, isn't that neat? Look at that. I'm totally going to use pieces out of this for art tiles and junk journals and tags, flowers, die cuts, everything. Bookmarkers, greeting cards. Yeah, I love this book, and I'm going to covet every page of it. And I might make one of those journals that I just referred to that would, for a guy, out of this book. Maybe. We'll see. Almost, we're more than halfway done now. And this book, The Ducks, Geese, and Swans of North America, reminds me of somebody that I used to know and don't talk to anymore, which makes me really sad. But because he is a bird watcher. Anyway, I thought about sending this to him for Christmas. But yeah, I guess you gotta let go. Copyright 1943. So yeah, just the trumpeter swan, the whistling swan, the mute swan. All about ducks and what was it? Ducks, geese, and swans of North America. I didn't really know there was that many swans in North America. Eastern harlequin duck. So yeah, this book will probably get disassembled and used in junk journals, and I might make this into a cover for a journal. Who knows? This belonged to Dwayne H. Lewis. It's not going to belong to that person. that I mentioned. Oh, hang on one second. So these are some other books these are the other ones that I got at not vintage books that I got at Goodwill today. That's really cute. 1986. But anyway, this is a Mother Goose book. Looks like this was printed in 1986. So yeah, definitely not. Well, I guess that would almost be considered vintage, but not really that old. But I like the images in here, and I thought these would be really cute to use pieces of, and maybe make some envelopes. Fussy cut some of these images, maybe that kind of thing. A little duck or goose would be cute, cut out. That candle. Yeah, so there's that one. And then I got this book on fairies, which is really cool. I've actually had this book before. I don't know what happened to it the first time, but yeah, so this will be really pretty to use. A lot of these images will be really nice to use in a journal. Just beautiful. Yeah, these are cool. I'd like to do, maybe like some kind of fantasy themed junk journal. Yeah, some of these images are just beautiful. Yeah, isn't that pretty? Look at that. I'm into like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and that kind of stuff. So I actually used to play Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. So and my kids are like really into magic, and they play a lot of video games that are kind of fantastical and stuff. We're all a little bit nerdy, I guess, my children and I. But this is a book on Van Gogh. And it was in this little case, Yeah. But yeah, we all know Van Gogh's images are just gorgeous. And so a lot of these will be cut apart and used to make tags and pages in journals, and maybe even, decoupaged onto the covers of some books. And like if I find some newer hardcover books, I might do that. Decoupage some of these really pretty images onto it, But yeah, no, just his color work and texture and lighting and all that. Look at the self-portrait. I love Van Gogh, and I've always loved him. One of the most prolific artists that we've ever had, and absolutely maybe the most prolific, and never sold a painting in his lifetime. Never. Well, apparently he traded, this is what I've heard, in art history classes, but he did trade a painting one time for a room and board, and his brother supported him, and yeah. My ex-husband was a huge Van Gogh fan, so I've heard a lot about him. Anyway, so the Van Gogh book. And I'm going to show you these books that I got at a different thrift store on a different day, but I thought I'd just kind of throw them in there. This is a Spanish textbook. For Spanish class, Anyway, but I like the way that this is laid out too, and the font and composition, of the text and stuff like that. So I've actually used a little bit of this book already in some journals. So I like to use foreign language books. I have an old French dictionary too that I like to use. This is a cookbook, and I like the ring, the spiral bound book. I bought this because I thought I might use it to make a journal out of the cover, but kind of forgot about it for a while. But anyway, this is just a cookbook, and yeah, and I like the orientation of it, and it folds back, so like if you're cooking, you can set it up like that, which I think is pretty nifty. But yeah, so there's that one, which I think it's a sunset book, but it's pretty old. I don't know, when was this? Third printing, December 1959. So 1959 that was printed. And then here's another, this is a children's book, Toby's Goblin. And that's one thing about a lot of kids' books is the orientation of the pages make them really conducive to using in a junk journal because they are more horizontal. Copyright 1930 on this book. I don't know when it was printed though. But yeah, so, and it has some really neat, they're probably not woodcuts, but I want to say they're woodcuts, but neat graphics in here. Mostly just black and white. This would be great like in a fantasy book too, So there's that one. And I love this book. I actually had this put away, and I discovered it as I was putting stuff away from moving. Just a second. One second. I forgot to bring these over when I was setting this up. And I know this is a super long video, and I don't know if anybody's even interested in looking at all of these, but these are just some books that I have that I'm definitely going to use in journals and stuff like that. So I thought I'd just share them. Who's Who in the Zoo, and this book is just beautiful. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can bring myself to tear this one apart, though. 1935, this was given from Grandma to some children. Anyway, the pictures in this book, the illustrations are just beautiful. They're just suitable for framing. I would almost do that. Pull some of these out and frame them. Look at that. Look at that cardinal. It's so pretty. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll disassemble the book and scan the images and keep them and go to jail at some point. I don't know. Who knows? But this is a pretty neat. I actually paid like $20 for this book. So, don't tell anybody. And just some novels that I picked up at a garage sale one day that I thought the covers would make neat journals. So this one. And these are kind of mostly like country or like westerns. Country. These are like westerns primarily. All these books. But lots of old book paper to use. Yeah, so if you have like vintage books that you don't want anymore, I'll take them off your hands. The Mysterious Writer. Zane Grey. I guess that's what a few of these are. Yeah. So these are just nice, covers for junk journals. That's primarily why I got these. There's another one. Will Rogers, Ambassador of Goodwill. Prince of Wit and Wisdom. A Cowboy's Courtship. So I like the color of that. It's a really neat color. Anyway, so these are kind of interesting. Character building books in primary grades. And these are like, I don't know, how to raise good kids or something. But look at that, it's blue. The print is blue. It's not black. It's like deep blue, like indigo. I guess in part of it. See? Blue, black. Blue, black. Yeah. So yeah, that's a neat book. This could be, like, I could cut the spine out and make this into a new book. But here's another one. It's like, must be a series or something. And that one has the same thing. So, like, part of it is printed in blue. I don't get that. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, I don't know what those books are, but they're neat. And then just, you know, some of these old golden books and stuff. But I really like this one, The Singing Leaf. Because I really like yellow and orange. And look at that. Yellow and green. This whole book is like lime green and yellow. Yeah. So those. Okay. And then I really, honestly, saved the best for last. So at Goodwill today, I just happened upon what I think is a gold mine and of vintageness and book paper nirvana. From the we live in Spokane, Washington, so Gonzaga Law School is here. Been there for a long time. But look, law books. Yeah, super old law books. These were from the law library at Gonzaga University. Published in 1889. Yeah, and these are the Supreme Court of Vermont. These are the Vermont reports. This book. Leather bound. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah, they're getting disassembled and yeah, tore up and dispersed. So, but look at all of that awesome text. So cool. I just love it. So there's that one. So this is the largest, like, dimensionally the largest one that I got. I actually got 6 altogether. This one is pretty fat. This is a fat guy. Look at that. These are also, oh wait, was that Virginia? That was Vermont, and this one's Virginia. So, but this one is so distressed, and you can see that it's been wet. Like, I think this entire book was actually wet at some point because it is just jacked up. Look at this. Published by Peter Cottam and for sale at his Law and Miscellaneous bookstore, 1826. Yeah, so this one is all discolored and stuff inside. 1815, this one says. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, this one's going to get disassembled and dispersed throughout junk journals, and I will probably make this cover into a journal. It's just so cool. I just love the feeling of this spine. And this one's in the, you know, even though it seems like it was wet, maybe it was just condensation or, like, you know, humidity, but the spine is in really good shape on this book. So and then there's another one. This says Seattle Law Book Club, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure this was from Gonzaga. Yeah, Gonzaga also. So this is the North Carolina reports. And it's like the text in each one of these is a little bit different. And the pages in this book are super thin. So these are all printed at different times and in a different way, different materials used and stuff like that. So, yeah, that one. And this will also be made into a journal. For sure, it will. And also, yeah, also North Carolina. And there's like some stitching around the edge of this one. You can kind of see that right around the edge. So, and this is a good size and shape for a journal, I think. I think I can salvage this. Like, see how it's kind of cracking apart right there? That's okay. Like, I think I can still keep this intact and just mend it, you know, from the inside. And you know what? Even if I have to punch some holes in there and actually sew it back together, I think I'll do that. Because I think that's kind of important. I like the rolled spine on this. Look at it, it's got the little, yeah. So, I wanted to buy all of the law books that they had. And they had, I got 6 of them. Yeah, I got 6. They had about maybe 15. So, this one's different. This is the Ohio Reports. This one's different. The paper is totally different. It's a little bit more glossy and a little bit heavier weight. Like, this book is really heavy, even in comparison to this one. Like, this one seems more dense, but maybe I could just put these on a shelf in my house and make me look super smart. I don't know. But, yeah. So that one. And I don't know. I mean, this is such a big book. I don't know if it would be appropriate to make this into a junk journal. It's so big. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, this is withdrawn from Gonzaga Law Library. So it's like it was part of the collection, and then something happened. They decided they didn't want them anymore. But I was just reading that little sticker on there. So, yeah, these law books are really cool. And they will be gutted out and repurposed and reused and recycled and all that. So I think that's it. Oh, I had just a couple other little things I wanted to show you guys. Nothing major, but there was a box of these little guys, Advanco guides. So just divider cards. So I thought these are, hey, you know what? We're always wanting to actually make that shape, so I might as well just buy them. Those were 99 cents for that box of cards. And then some phone messages. And I'll probably coffee dye some of these and tuck them into pockets and stuff like that. 99 cents. Come on. Can't pass that up. And then a notary public record book. These will get coffee dyed for sure. And I thought those are neat pages to use in a journal. So, did I forget anything? I don't think so. I think we're good. So, anyway, so that is my haul for today. And like I said yesterday, hopefully I won't be putting out another haul video anytime soon because... Oh, and so these books, 99 cents a piece. That's what I paid for them. I paid 99 cents for this book. Yeah, at Goodwill. Whoops, yikes, and it's falling apart. But, yeah, so I think they were definitely worth it. All right, well, thank you for watching, you guys. And, yeah, so like, subscribe, share, and comment. And, oh, I guess I was going to ask you guys something. So, if I were to say put together like packets of say like 100 book pages or 200 book pages or something like that, using all of these books and a bunch of the other ones that I have, is that something that you think you would be interested in, or do you think other people would be interested in purchasing those? Not that I'm trying to make a bunch of money on selling book pages, but I mean I want to share them, and that kind of thing. But the postage and if I could get the money back that I put out for them, that would be nice too. So and also I'm thinking of just trying to maybe also add some like coffee dyed paper and stuff like that to those. So I'm just asking for your opinion, if you want to share that. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great night. I'm going to get busy and start disassembling some books here. All right, well, take care. Thanks for watching again. Bye.